Oh, it's a little dark. Should probably turn up some light. It's in the morning, so there we go. A little light. Anyway, so I'm still looking more into Candida albicans and so forward. Now, as far as I understand from now, of course, I've looked into how fungus works and all that, and I'm trying to, one thing is to get the information, another thing is to be able but as I understand it, Candida is in a yeast form where it's round things and they can actually multiply, and apparently there comes a scar in the mother when it actually makes another Candida yeast. So apparently you can see, as far as I've seen of information, apparently if you can if you can go deep in regards to the microscope and all that, you could actually see how many children that yeast fungus had. I'm not sure if it's only Candida or if it's actually all yeast forms, but anyway, the thing is the Candida can apparently go loose into this fungus thing where it begins to the strings and all that, which apparently is called hyphens or something like that. They apparently have different words for, it's like hyphens, and then there's anyway. And of course they also have the spores, which is apparently the babies that can shoot out, and apparently is somewhat harder to kill than the fungus itself. And apparently that is said to be one of the issues why it's so hard to actually kill off. Because even if you kill all of the fungus, in regards to the strings and all that, which is in your, if it has gone systemic and all that, well, you would probably still have the spores, some sources says. And thereby, they can just grow back. So this is, if you actually look into fungus and see how fungus can actually, control animals and so forward, they are not to be underestimated. This is a most, what shall we say, fearful, it's called the most disgusting enemy in some sense, It really have some tricks up their sleeve, Not sure how they do what they do, but they do. They seem to have some kind of intelligence or something like that. And roam around, apparently, they're in our body and, able to make, sacs of fungus to defend themselves against the immune system, which apparently they have a lot of weapons against as well, as far as I can see, from the information. I've just gathered information. That might be something. I'm just trying the best that I can do by the information and in regards of my health history, trying to connect all the dots and all that. And the doctors are pretty much incompetent in regards to this area. So, and, the floaters I can see in my eyes, I have literally hundreds of floaters. I don't have the number of it because I can't count them anymore. When they began to grow in the eyes and all that, it was easier to actually, keep track on what was going on in the eyes. But now I have hundreds and hundreds. So it's just all over pretty much. And if I'm out swimming, they just, spins around and all that. It's also a little hard to actually zoom into, when you have them in the microscope. I've seen the pictures of Candida and all that. I've also looked into some of the other Candida species. There are 4 that is apparently, what is it called? The 4 that people have issues with, as I understand it. And Candida is the first and foremost of those 4. But I looked into the 2 others. Not the third one, but because I hadn't, when I did I should actually look into the third one as well. So anyway. But anyway, the 2 others that I looked into that wasn't albicans, that was different kinds of Candida, didn't look like what I see in my eye. So I actually have thought that these Candida species would have looked much like the same, but that's a good difference, I think, in these. So, yeah. So, you can pretty much say that's not what I'm seeing in my eyes. It's the Candida I see in my eyes, if anything. I don't know if there's any other species that looks, and of course we know that, there's a lot of fungus out there, but there's, there's only so and so many that actually makes havoc in our body and so forward. And of course, they also do the mycotoxins and all that. I think that must be in regards of, I'm trying to figure out, but they release mycotoxins, which is fungus poison. I'm not sure if that's actually the same as pooping, because they also poop in your body, as I understand. They use it as a toilet pretty much. So if you have a lot of candida and all that, you're getting a lot of issues in regards of, your system overall. And apparently also the immune system is also pretty much, suppressed by this fungus as well. And it's really hard to kill for the immune system as well, because the fungus has some tricks up their sleeve. So apparently they can outsmart the system somewhat, it seems. And they have this defense as well. I saw some videos where was said that there was candida cells, and I think it was one of these doctors, I've seen. But you never know in regards of the internet, of course. But it was a doctor that ran a thing, and he was showing the candida where the white blood cells, what's it called? I can't even remember the name of that white blood cell. Apparently that there's more, yeah, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, Latin word, whatever. But anyway, you could see it was swallowing up just the yeast form, and the yeast form wasn't killed by the white blood cells. And he talked about that the yeast could actually, the candida could actually then transform into the fungus form and pretty much give a lot of issues and actually destroy the white blood cells. Which is not good, And of course, in regards of also being in the fungus form where it has these long strings, that is also hard apparently for our white blood cells to battle, because the white blood cell and so it's not compared to the size and so forward, and it's you have all these strings, So, I must say, I have no idea how to battle this, At least I think I'm pretty much, getting more certainty that this is what I have. And it's I have looked at more into diflucan and nystatin as well. And, my doctor pretty much threw me out, the last white coat murderer threw me out because he didn't apparently think, he thinks I'm a nutcase apparently. He thinks I should go to a psychiatric guy that wants to fill me with, psychotropic drugs, whatever, something that absolutely will not help on a fungus issue. So we'll just make things worse, and it's just insanity, He apparently concluded that I was just, making things up, apparently. As they usually, you feel that, you're pretty much, it's just... So anyway, in regards to the nystatin and the diflucan, and I'm a little topsy up in because I'm doing a lot of antifungals, and I'm just throwing everything I have at the moment, after it exploded and from my breast, it doesn't seem like it actually is working. It's just you feel like it's just it's downhill. It's just downhill. I don't know how to kill it. Hey, it's just you can see on the internet that people are saying, you can start using something and it actually might start working in regards of killing all fungus, but then the fungus will adapt to it. So the fungus will just after a week or so, it's able to adapt to the thing. So it might actually kill some fungus in the beginning, and then the antifungal might stop working. So that's bad. Like for example, the nicerol I used from my head and all that in regards of the dandruff and all that, which is also said to be a fungus problem and actually also can be a candida problem apparently. You know, one of the symptoms of candida apparently. And the nicerol actually worked, which kills fungus, actually works for some time. I was like, oh, this works, you know, this is awesome. But, you know, then stopped working, and I think that the fungus might have just adapted to the nicerol, and I know that would probably be the same thing in regards of the diflucan if I tried the diflucan. So I want to, if I'm going to try the diflucan, if I can find someone that doesn't throw me out of their office and all that. I know this might not be the, you know, the solution overall, but it might actually show me, get me some more pieces in regards to the puzzle. Let's say it's take 90% of the candida away or something like that. That would be pretty nice, you know. Or if I can see that the floaters is going away from my eyes, that would be pretty cool as well. And of course the nystatin, it would be the nystatin and the diflucan. But you know, I'm looking into in regards of could it actually do some damage, I'm thinking, you know, because it's not only killing Candida albicans, it's actually killing a lot of fungus. And I do wonder if it actually could kill off some of these fungus that is actually still being used by, you know, the gut to control your health and all that. Some say that your health is in the gut, and that might be true. You know, that it starts in the gut, and if you don't have, you know, things all right in the gut, you get into issues. So I am a little concerned of in regards of the nystatin and the diflucan, if I actually do it, if it could actually possible damage something in regards of maybe removing some of the strains of fungus that one might need. I don't know. So, but in any case, you know, it's just the candida is going to kill me anyway if I'm not going to try anything, right? So it's just, I guess it's like, yeah, whatever. I don't know. So, of course, just being seen as a lunatic is just, of course, there's a lot of people out there that actually, you know, have the same problems. Because, you know, they don't want to look at fungus because they might lose a lot of money if they actually just could, you know, fix fungus. Because a lot of issues that they earn a lot of money on is fungus related. And money. And who cares about if millions of people are suffering and dying off and all that, because the Satanists believe that we are too many people anyway. So, I actually read. Oh, let me see. This tea is rather. It's not, you know, it's not looking that good. But, you know, instead of making a tea out of things, I just drop all the you know, things in the cup itself, and then I eat it and chew it up, and yeah, I guess it must do something in regards of going through the gut as well, just not only the fluid, but, you know, use everything that is in there, like cloves and cinnamon and all that. Goodies, you know. I sadly haven't gotten any more oregano oil, but anyway, I'm not sure I could get more of that pretty good oregano oil because Amazon has closed so many down in regards to sending to this nation. You know, I remember in the old times in regards of Amazon, there was no problem in regards of send things to you know, and now it's like, well, it seems like at least half of the things that I find, and, you know, oh, we can't send to Denmark. It's like, you can't send to Denmark. And it's like, this is just stupid, you know, and just, you get so, because it worked in the past without any problem. So that makes it a lot harder, and you need to use more time, and of course Satan likes wasting our time and keeping us away from good health. Yeah. So, any case, So I've been looking at these different videos and pictures of Candida and all of that, and we have in regards of calendula. It's a flower that's also said to be pretty antifungal compared to nystatin. But anyway, there's a lot of good antifungal products out there, but the problem is it seems like one product cannot do all the, it seems like you have to have a huge amount of these antifungals to actually be able to get this critter, and of course it's costing a lot of money for the, just anyway. Let's see here if I have extra large icons. Oh, that's big. Here we have some of the images of Candida albicans, and again I've looked at some of the other species or variations of Candida, and it just doesn't look like doesn't look like what I have in my eyes. So oh, here we have some let's see if I just, that's a lot of research from different things in regards to my computer. So if I can I do a detail? No, just fix it as the latest. Well, anyway, we'll take the camera here and turn it around, and maybe if I can do like this and just turn it around. Let's see if we get, there we go. It's not going to be that big. Here we have different pictures that I've downloaded in regards of Candida. You see the different things in regard. Again, I can't remember what all the name. I'm still trying to figure out how it all. They have these. Actually, the up here does in regards to the names and all that. I think that's a drawing. No, actually, that might actually be. I'm not entirely sure, but anyway, should be Candida again in a 3D form in regards to, and talks about a little about. And here we have Candida again. So these are different images from different web pages and all that in regards of Candida. Let's see, go a little up here. Pretty much what I see in my eyes. All these strings, you can see this is actually one of the best pictures I think of it in some sense. In regards to the strings. I just have a huge amount of these strings. Apparently it's called the mycelial form. I guess it's all this Latin bullshit, We have the yeast form apparently over here, and then it begins to shoot out these things, and yeah, and then it begins to make havoc in your, and you also have the spores as well. Actually, here we have a chlamydia spores and blastospores. I'm not entirely sure what, but I've heard something in regards of if you actually kill them, they will release the spores that can then lay dormant to awaken again like seeds. It's the seeds of the fungus, as I understand it. Here we have in regards of the hypha thing. Again, I'm not entirely sure of all, because there's some variations in regards of some other things. Pseudohypha, blastospores, chlamydia spores, or chlamydospores, whatever. I need to go deeper into the there must be some science books in regards of fungus and all that, to get the, it's not, of course, it's not really going to help me in regards of curing. At least, I can learn and read and study and all that. But if I'm actually not, if something works, it works. It doesn't matter if you know how it works, but if it works, right? So here we have another one. It's actually a pretty big picture here. I'm not sure if this is set to be, it looks a little, it could probably be, but here we go in regards, this should be Candida. You have Candida here. Again, I think that we actually, I'm not sure, this is a hypha thing, apparently a coney, again, but I'm not sure this is actually Candida in regards to these weird, again, Well, anyway, it talked about actually being Candida, if I remember correctly. So anyway, so here we have morphology of Candida albicans. So here you see like, here's apparently there must be like yeast, and then begins to form out. Or we actually have A. They shoot out, and then you have, anyway. But of course, in regards to the eyes, here we have a thing in regards of blastospores up here, a chlamydiospore, a cytohypha thing, and all that. I guess some of the videos on these things that I found is more, oh well. And here we have from, we have a lot of these threads. So it's a little harder in regards of the eyes, because the things that I have in my eyes are like just sculpting around, or whatever you want to call it. Just so when you're actually looking at something, and some light helps on actually blue sky or whatever, and you look at it and you can see, and then they just begin to fall down. And then when you like do this, there's like, whoa, they will just fly around in there. Or if you do this, they will fly around like this, So it's a little hard to actually focus on these critters. And my vision is also getting worse and worse. So compared to the past, so it also seems that's not going to, But I know you can actually also zoom more into them than you normally can. If you have wet eyes and you have the sun going and hitting the right spot and all that, you can actually, and you like, fix your eyes down, you can actually zoom immensely into these. The problem is that even if you can zoom a lot, the problem is with your eyes. The problem is that they're still going around. So they are in motion, and I saw some of the where they were actually floating around the Candida in one of these videos, or maybe more than one video, but at least one of them, and it just looks like what I have in my eyes. It just it totally reminds me of it. So it wouldn't be knowing that they came down there, which actually. It could have been like what is called balanitis or something like that, where you have, at least it was like an itch, a huge itch, itchy, and it was never cured. It was never, and from there it pretty much went up in my body and then my head, and lo and behold, the floaters came about. They began in my eyes. So what could it be? Well, fungus. Fungus. And again, a lot of people are struggling with this to get it killed. And I'm really not sure if it's possible, because it's just so many different people. Well, I guess it must be possible. But it's really it's a hard one to kill off. That's for sure. And the thing is, there's so much misinformation about it. I actually just saw in regards to these floater, floater forum, and someone just closed it. He was putting an image of Candida and asked about it, if others in regards of, Candida and all that, and some guy just closed the room. It just seems like Satan doesn't want this, too much information out on this. That actually we have fungus problems in our society, which we have not recognized, or that the medical mafia have not recognized, because there's billions of, money to be made. So, and the same thing when I asked, the connection was closed down in regards of I was asking those that hand out the things, the drugs and all that. I was asking them if in regards to diflucan, if you took diflucan and you have these symptoms, if that couldn't have anything to do with actually killing off fungus. Because I would think that if you kill a huge amount of fungus in your body, that of course you would get some symptoms. That makes totally sense, It doesn't make much sense if you kill them and you don't get any symptoms, because you're exploding all these critters and all the things and waste and all that are running out of these, Yeah, so. And then the connection was just closed, Apparently they didn't want to talk to me about that. And pretty much thrown out of the doctor office. It's just crazy. And then being rejected after I rode a little with him afterwards, 15 minutes have gone, he didn't really, he just wanted me out of the, anyway, just incredible. Oh yeah, in regards of the floaters and all that, he actually told me, everybody has floaters. It's just something we are born with. Oh really? So that's why I never noticed anyone in my youth. Oh yeah, it's just these white coat murderers just doesn't Oh, that's normal, or that's normal, and that's normal. Oh, apparently it's everything is normal apparently. Oh, in that world, whatever. So yeah, and if they can't find it, it's the patients that is a nutcase. Apparently. It's not the filthy system that can't actually understand anything. Anyway, and of course, in regards to the floaters, when I did the juice fasting, many years ago, when I didn't know better, I did a lot of juice fasting with fresh pressed juice with a lot of sugar in it. And I could just see these floaters growing quickly. So, and of course, fungus loves sugar. By the way, cancer loves sugar as well, so. Yeah, anyway, cancer is probably just fungus. But of course, they don't want to tell you that, or. Yeah, anyway. Because it's it's business. You have to burn people with radiation and poison them with chemo and, just chop out some of the. Body parts and all that. As crazy as it has always been, apparently. You really need to think, when you go to. You don't just take your brain and lay. The doctor will kill you if you just do that, I think. Yeah. So the last defense, I guess, when you're sick, right? And you go to these people that you actually. You expect that they would help you, right? Think about an electrician being so incompetent and coming out to a house where the customer says, well, my light is gone out, and there's no light. And you come out and you look and you say, no, it's working fine, because I'm looking on this mobile and this number tells me everything is fine, And the customer says, well, there's no light. No, because I'm looking on this screen and it's, this number, this is like a magic number. It knows everything, apparently. It tells me everything is fine, Yeah, I've done my job. You just pay me and I'll go. It's just stupidity, this is just totally incompetent. Yeah, anyway. How can these people live with themselves? I don't understand it. So, but anyway, that's this forum in regards of floaters as well and all that. And there seems to be different kinds of floaters, So, yeah. But I think what I have is pretty much, fungus. And what fit the fungus story if it actually began this private place of mine, which probably could have been, or could maybe have been fixed with 8 days of diflucan. got different, and a change of diet, but of course, I've never been told to change my diet of any of these white coat doctors or Latin murderers or whatever you want to call them, whatever. I was drinking a lot of alcohol and all that, and fungus loves alcohol and loves sugar as well. It's like we're totally, and these, we have Hitler milk and Hitler cheeses in the, it's like they've just ruined our food sources. And then of course, we, some of us are doing some bad habit styles in regards to drinking and smoking and all that. Now, it's also something in regards to smoking. It was said that actually the smoking wasn't the bad thing. It was the poison of the fungus that is in the leaves that is actually because of that treatment or something like that. That's interesting as well, of course. So when you smoke, there was something about inhaling fungus poison, which then is bad for you and all that. So, yeah. And then of course you have all the alcohol, which is also made from fungus and all that. Yeah. Had I known what I knew today, I would have never been drinking any alcohol. It's just stupid. Or very, very little in regards of a little glass in regards of, and that would be all. Over drinking is just, stupid. And we have like a culture in the many of the Western nations to just drink and drink and drink, And we will defend, it's our culture and all that. Oh, give me a break. That's the most stupid thing I've heard, Oh yeah, because our ancestors drank, and then we just look at, you just look at people drinking. You don't even need to do it yourself. You just have a look on the people drinking and see what, how their health is declining a huge amount. And then they die. So, truth about living with floaters, eye patch, nightmare shop. Seriously, I think I would freak out on how many floaters I have if I walked inside the shop. Anyway, different people with different issues in regards of floaters. Nutrients can reach the vitreous or something like that, I guess, in regards of the eye. As I understand it, it's like pretty good hot tops for fungus in regards of inside the eye. Doc Kaufman was, which I'm looking at, he was taught, but it was like Fahrenheit or something like that. Not sure how many that would, but apparently it's more, the heat is greater in the eyes than they are outside apparently, and fungus, loves heat. So apparently it seems like also if you go to eye doctor and all that, actually I had time for an eye doctor, but I never got the doctor, the guy apparently put me and he said, there's a long wait list and all. There's always a long wait list with this. You get into this system of long wait list. It's just it's a system that doesn't work. We have candidiasis and floaters. Does anybody have floaters that have been attributed to candidias? And if so, did successful treat? That would be interesting with actually some, because it seems like the medical system is only in regards of fungus and all that with people that are really, really down in regards of immunity and all that. And they might have, I don't know if we have some people in Denmark that might actually be, actually getting this diagnosed. I guess some cancer patients or whatever gets these. And I do wonder, do they actually get floaters in the, is there anyone getting floaters in the eyes, I don't know. But it would be interesting, of course. Because maybe these floaters are just fungus, and maybe a lot of other people that is just looking a little healthier and actually also have fungus issues. And maybe the medical mafia don't want to actually tell the people about that because they will lose billions. So anyway, floaters and supplements. So they're trying to apparently fix this floater issue, and yeah, again, it's something that, yeah, it's just disgusting. I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's just whose floaters went away on their own, and how bad were they? So again, you can some apparently have this discretion of floaters. And again, some have said that they had been on diflucan, and then the floaters, when they were on diflucan, was going away. Well, if diflucan attacks fungus, well, what could it be that you have in your eyes then if it's actually getting removed by taking diflucan? Well, fungus, maybe. So, let's see here. So it seems like a lot of people are getting, having issues and all that, and they're just on their own. They're pretty much on their own. It's just totally failed system, totally on their own because they're not accepted, their issues are not accepted by the medical mafia. So, and then people live with it for a huge amount of times, and of course it, slowly kills them over time. Yeah, and you use a lot of time trying to figure out this and that because, of course, the white coats just try to, and others actually just, it's just up in your head and blah 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 blah. Okay, so I don't know when okay, I'm not the one living in my body, apparently. I don't know what, It's like, when you're sick, do you know you're sick in regards, if you, it's like, yeah, you're sick if you have hurt in your, ears and, you're sick, right? It's just, if someone said, oh, yeah, you're not sick, well, I know I'm sick, right? It's just a little, it's just, yeah. I guess Satan really, loves it keeping the status quo of this because then he can have a lot of people suffering from this. I don't know. I don't know what to say much more in regards of, I guess I nearly lived with this, I guess, for 20 years. Different things and all that. And having studied things on and off to figure out what is wrong. How can I fix this, And you just, you realize is that you're pretty much on your own. And, yeah. But I haven't really figured out how to, it could be interesting to see the nystatin and the diflucan, how that would actually, if I would actually get better on that, I'd probably, get worse first, because if it actually works in regards of killing the fungus, I would probably, get bad, and before I get better, and then I might actually have a period where I actually have it pretty good, and then it might actually become worse again because, it might actually grow back. I do know it's not a solution. And again, the diflucan probably will only work for a couple of weeks and all that, so it's not something that I would take for a longer time period. It was just something to try out for a couple of weeks and then stop. And hopefully it will have done something, And the same with the nystatin. Of course, the nystatin and diflucan had to be taken. I was thinking of doing nystatin first because that takes the gut, and then the diflucan. As I understand it, the diflucan doesn't go throughout the whole, because it gets taken up and being used in the body instead. So, which of course is, that's the idea of diflucan. is to kill off the things that you have in your body. But again, apparently these funguses are very, very smart, entities or whatever you want to call them, and they can apparently adapt to what is, and they can also just be, they have different resistances for different things and all that. So even in regards to trying diflucan, there's a 7% chance that the diflucan already is resistance apparently. So again, there's 7% chance that it doesn't work from the beginning. So anyway, but you have to try it, So, and as I see it, is like a one single bullet to try this, because I know that the fungus can become resistant to it. So it would, it just hit it hard in the, and see if it works. It would be nice if it actually worked totally, if it actually totally removed it. If it just totally cleared everything up in my body, it would be amazing. And I would just keep my diet without sugar, because I don't want to. If I can get it totally fixed and my system, immune system is, if could get to a level where, I guess if you have totally overgrowth of this, I guess the immune system must have a very, very difficulty with, it's an overwhelming enemy. So, if I could just totally knock it back, and hopefully, if I could strengthen the immune system as well, and keep that up and running, I might be able to get it on a low, there's always hope, right? But I have, there's so many failures, I must say. But if one could just get it at that point, and then just keep to a diet without any sugar and all these bad foods, bread, alcohol, sugar, overall, and just keep to a diet which is, really, really non-sugary. I might be able to, it might work to keep it down. But again, I don't know, it would be interesting. Again, I have another appointment next week. I found another doctor guy, someone that can prescribe these things and all that. I've also looked into in regards if I can actually go to Germany maybe to get it, because not all nations actually need a prescription thing for actually getting it. So that would be a thing, going to Germany and trying to get it there would be a possibility. And then trying it. There's another possibility of, more of the natural things, of course. I need some resources too. That's the problem also. A lot of the things cost a lot of money. I need to get those, some resources as well for. There's a guy in New Zealand or something like that, a naturopath, which has a product called Candida or something like that, where he has put 12 of these antifungals into his product. And he has 3 products, But it's a huge amount of money as well. And I've tried things in the past where it's costing a lot of money and not really working. And it's just you just keep on pouring money down the hole. And just, you hope it works, and yet it doesn't. And of course, you have the diet as well. The thing is, this fungus is pretty persistent. That's for sure. It's. I remember doing a lot of vitamins as well, which is neither cheap as well. But anyway, and I had 3 wonderful days, 2 or 3 days where that was so lovely. But again, I felt like someone was actually stealing these, and I couldn't afterwards. After these 2-3 days, I just couldn't get to that place again. I was sleeping I slept so good, and I woke and I was fresh. I actually just, felt refreshed. Because I don't feel refreshed when I awake now. I just feel tired. I just feel utterly devastated in some sense. You see, so you feel like you actually it's a little different, of course, but you feel as tired nearly or more tired than you actually did when you went to sleep. Now it's some kind of a difference in it because it's not like but you still feel like wasted. I just remember that years ago when I tried that vitamin where I just totally took a huge amount of vitamins, huge doses of vitamin C and D and E and whatever. I'm not sure. I just bought a lot of things as many years ago, but and it actually works. I really got to wow. I'm feeling good. Now of course it didn't totally just had this, but I was like, wow, I'm feeling amazing, and I had just taken vitamins. So, but again, a lot of money, it cost a lot of money trying these things out, and overall, I didn't have the resources to try to, and I couldn't figure out what after, I couldn't really get to the point again afterwards, and again, it became pretty expensive. So, I must, I don't know what I did, how to, again, yeah, that's the problem, and of course, if the fungus is just stealing your resources and all that, but it was nice 2-3 days to actually feel like you had energy and you felt good. That was wonderful. And the only thing I'd taken was vitamins. Different kinds of vitamins. So, I guess one have to attack this on so many levels. In regards of maybe good bacteria, in regards of vitamins, in regards of, the diet and all that. And then, then have things that actually, attack the fungus and it's just a hard problem. And again, but there are people out there talking about it. The problem is there's a lot of there's a lot of information out there, and I'm sure the medical mafia is probably putting a lot of propaganda out there. It's like when you see something in regards to a product, and then you see the next week or something, or the next day or whatever, when you do, oh, this is good and this and that, and then the next day, oh, it's not good and blah blah blah. It's just it's just there's a lot of bullshit out there, and these people putting out the bullshit. Oh, it's my work and blah blah bullshit. Just because it's just because of, that's not an excuse. It's not. Oh, it was my job to kill off Jews. Well, that's not an excuse. It's my job to kill off people and this and that. It's not an excuse. That's getting money for this, so I need to do it and follow orders and blah blah blah. That's not an excuse. So, it's still wrong. Still wrong to lie and deceive and all that. It doesn't make it okay just because you're getting a paycheck. Anyway, I guess I don't have much more to say. But getting all the, I pretty much think, the problem is, how can I actually check this? Because, again, that seems to be a problem as well in regards of checking it. Because, apparently, I think it was the Danish site that said like 50% have Candida. And that's actually interesting as well, because they talked about also having it in the, as I understand it, if it actually is healthy, Candida should only be in the gut. Down in the gut and doing what is, it shouldn't be up here, as I understand it. Making this white coat and all that. But that seems to be seen as normal or something like that. I think I was talking about that. Let's see here if I can find the Danish side in regards of it. That's like the state's serum institute and all that in regards of Candida. Yeah, Candida can be shown in around 50% of the standard people in the mouth, and 20% of women in the vagina. Okay, so apparently 50% of the Danish people have Candida in the mouth. I don't know what kind of Candida then they talk about, because again, there's different kinds of Candida. I was actually talking about Candidiasis. I'm not sure how you actually say that. More to read up on this thing. When we actually begin to understand how little the doctors actually know about this, and actually that they knew that there was issues in regards of using antibiotic, and antibiotic is fungus poison. So fungus poison, giving fungus poison to people, and what happens, because the fungus poison doesn't hurt fungus, it hurts bacteria. So what happens with the fungus? Oh, it goes around, what happens with the criminals when there's no police? Well, they will do criminal acts, right? So anyway, but apparently they already have had the focus on this early on, yet, it was just, they put a lid on it, just apparently no money, and actually they found, they already, they apparently, there's like what is it called, from 1986, where this doctor, actually two of them, are talking about the issues in regards of antibiotic and in regards of fungus. And yet, 2019, and they're still as stupid as, and willingly ignorant, and what do you call, no, willingly, as long as you give me the paycheck, I'll look over there, right? I haven't seen any fungus. Did you see any fungus? Oh, that's money. Oh yeah, I didn't see any fungus. Anyway, here they talk about Candida is found in patients that has a weakened immune system because of chemotherapy. Well, poison. Or AIDS, or patients with intravenous T3, I'm not sure, I guess must be in regard, I'm not sure. Something in regards of air or whatever. I think there was something in regards of when you drink buttermilk, you will actually help on that. I think I read something about that. And buttermilk does, but the problem is with buttermilk is there's still, sugar. And it seems like buttermilk is like a double-edged sword, at least for me. Sometimes it actually works. I think that's because of the good bacteria. But there's sugar in it. It might also, I don't know, in regards of, because they have probably nuked the milk before. Just stupid, and that's just the thing as well. Of course, when they actually, destroy the, as I understand in regards of heating the milk and pasteurization, just stupid. Why would I have Hitler milk, But anyway, then the spores can be released, and the spores doesn't get killed by this thing, and then now you have killed all the good guys. So now you just pretty much are drinking a substance that, and the enzymes is destroyed, the vitamins are destroyed in the milk, as I understand it. So you have the good bacteria is destroyed in the milk. So you have a huge amount of things that is destroyed in the milk. And of course, the cows apparently needs to give so much milk, compared to what they usually do. So, so you get, you want more milk so you can sell it, because that's. Well, if you get more milk from a cow, do you think that the milk is as good as quality as a milk that doesn't, It's just, it's just stupid. This is insane. Our society is just utterly nutcase. If you want to live healthy, you would need your own place to have some goats, some cows, some sheep and all that. And, in regards of milking, getting some real good milk, and they, you know, and in regards to feeding these antibiotic to make them grow, and hormones and whatever they're feeding these, you know, and foods that is not actually valid for these, you know, it's just incredible. This is just disgusting, you know, and we wonder why we're getting sick, and this seems like there's a huge conspiracy to actually making us sick. Yeah, if I would probably need to get some kind of a place where I could have some sheep, some you know, a cow, a goat, and all that, and be able to maybe some chickens or something like that. You know, if you want to be healthy, you would need to actually fix your own food, because these insanity, you know, this nutcase world seems to destroy food on so many levels. Oh yeah, let's just fill the cows with antibiotic because then they will grow. What is antibiotic? Well, that comes from that's fungus poison. Well, what does fungus poison do? Well, kill bacteria. And what happens then? Well, you might actually have a fungus that is on the run. Actually, a lot of those. So let's see here. Candida has been. This is a state page actually. This would be interesting to actually read. Of course, the problem is that they only like you know, they only think it's a problem in regards to people with that has gone through chemotherapy and AIDS and all that, and where the immune system is suppressed. But the Candida, as far as I understand, is very, very clever against the immune system, and can, in some sense, outsmart it if the, you know, so it actually says that the Candida is part of the natural flora in the mouth. But again, it does, you know, the Candida, there's many different Candidas, so and therefore one shall be careful in regards of concluding in regards of Candida in test from these areas, because that you know, in regards of being the cause for the sickness in regards of healthy people. Well, yeah, well, maybe the other way around as well, you know, because if you find Candida in many people, well, what is a test worth then if you have a Candida overgrowth? Because, you know, did I have something on my nose? Well, anyway, so again, that's, I guess, one of the issues in regards to the problems, how in regards of diagnosing, and of course the doctors are not going to sit there and listen to you in regards to, because they just think you're a nutcase. So, but apparently they say that in regards to 50% of the normal people, Candida can be found in the mouth, and 20% in the vagina standard. That would be in women. So, but there's some information here for me to read for sure. In regards of resistance, in regards of Candida against diflucan, let's see here. It says that women gets more diflucan than men, and they talk about an infection in regards of Candida glabrata infection in men. No. Yeah, okay. That's the women in regards of Candida glabrata. There's 4 Candida types that apparently is seemingly to be the 4 that is mostly seen as the issues, and the Candida albicans is the first and foremost of these. See here. Therefore, tropical things should be used instead of actually using, and they, even if it's more attractive from the patient's side. Yeah, because what does the pill? It's incredible that at no one of these people in the past, of all the doctors that I went to, never, came about, let's try this diflucan for 8 days, shall we? And never trying that. Actually, they never made any test down there either, as far as, they made a test in regards of I actually had to ask them myself to get these, It's like, hey, maybe it can be this. Maybe, let's try something. Hey, it's itching down there. I want it to stop. And you think that they would actually help you, right? And but anyway, I got the test of in regards of sex, I was like, hey, let's run some tests, and and I got some creams for it and all that, but I was like, that's not really, they looked in regards of the guy, the little guy and all that, and then I got some creams and all that. And one of the creams I was told I should never have used down there. Oh, it's good to know that you guys actually have, know what to do, apparently. Stupidity, So, yeah, but could they give me like a diflucan? They must know about this diflucan, I don't know about they must know, but in regards of women, right, in regards of using this one pill thing, in regards of issues for women and all that, so in regards of microscopic example, a wet smear. What is a wet smear? You can grow it. I saw that you can actually, in regards of a microscope, it seems actually if you have the itch down there, it seems like this guy on the internet that had a microscope actually just took a sample from there and just looked down through the microscope, and he said this is balanitis or something like that. So this guy had balanitis, and you can see the fungus in the microscope. I was like, okay. So I do wonder, do you actually have Candida down? No, I guess. Oh yeah, there's something in regards that you can actually have it without actually having any issues at all. So that's a problem as well, I guess, because even if you then can find that you actually have Candida at the itching place, but could it be could it be an overgrowth of Candida? You can, I guess you can't rule it out, can you? Right? But if you don't have any issues down there and have Candida, well, then there's no issue, right? But I guess if you have a Candida overgrowth, whatever, it's, but you can see it seems like there was the yeast form and some of the fungus form as well in regards to where he had taken this. And again, I'm just trying to, I'm not educated or anything. I'm just trying to find and figure out things and all that. But I do wonder why they never really did any further investigations of scientific research, I would call it. I would have thought they would have been able to take some samples from there or something like that, run something. So what is a wet smear? Can you actually do a wet smear from a man, or is it only from a woman? It seems like they have some women things in regards to a wet smear. It shouldn't be that difficult. The problem is it's like the Roman papers keeping the Bible away from the people. It feels like the same thing in regards to this medical system, which of course shouldn't actually be a surprise, because the Latin speaking bullshitters. Yeah. Internal. There's some more pictures of what looks like Candida and all that from a wet mouth slide. I have no idea how that. But how hard can I? You just need to. If I can get some of these spokes, maybe a microscope as well. Maybe I can do it myself. The problem is the microscope is apparently pretty costly and all that. It's just insane that I need as a, that I would need to do these things for myself, that there's pretty much no help from, it's just, and the thing is, I'm not the only one, one thing if it's just me, right? But there's a huge amount of people out there suffering and having issues. Apparently it's a more accepted thing also with women than with actually men. Well, thing in regards of the, they started out, the doctors actually started out giving me these fungal creams and all that, but they never told me to change my diet or anything like that. So I was still putting fuel on this thing, so even if the creams would have worked at that point, well, which actually just seems to make it worse, but in any case, I was still doing a wrong diet. I was still feeding the fungus. And if it's actually getting, even if you actually fix it on that place, and it actually just gets if it's actually coming from another place, like the gut or something like that, I guess this wet smear might actually be for women instead of men. But you must be able to do something in regards of men as well, just, a little scrape on the little guy or something like that. Should take some particles, I guess, from the top. So, where was I? Oh yeah, that was the Danish side looking in regards to that. Example of wet smear, and you can grow it, I guess, in these so-called petri dishes, apparently named, they really like to have their things named after this and that guy and all that. There's a new sensitive analyze to prove the 5 I'm not entirely sure. Let's see what that is. A new sensitive analyze to prove the 5, the 5 usual causes of invasive candidias or candidemi. I'm not sure what that is, but it is in Danish. So they have new techniques to check in regards of 500 Danish gets blood infection with Candida, and around 100 has serious invasive Candida infection. But these are probably in regards of people talking about having AIDS or having gotten chemo and all that. The dead thing in regards to Candidema is around 40%, but lower with another treatment, whatever, for 15. It's a little hard to translate the Danish here. But we're not talking about, we're just talking about this thing living in you, it's not killing you slowly, it's making your life a miserable, I guess this might actually, but they should be able to do some of the same things that they usually do to these others that have lower. It could be interesting to look at your own blood, it's like, it's my life, right? So if I had the equipment, to actually, just check. I don't know if there's anything in the blood and all that, because the Candida seems to be just roaming around and doing what it does. I'm not sure if it's actually in the blood, but of course it could be interesting to check out if one could find anything that actually looked like anything like that. But I guess there might actually be a lot of things roaming around in the blood. I'm not sure. But I guess one can learn like a computer game and all that, if you give it time and look around. You should be, but again, you would need the things to actually do it. But apparently they seem to have some kind of difficulties as well here. The problem is if so many people actually have Candida, as they say, like 50% in the mouth and all that, and they actually can. How do you know if you actually have a fungus problem? If so many people that don't have a problem with, if you can actually find it so many places, how are you going to know if it's actually out of control? Well, let's see, if you try nystatin and diflucan for a month and you actually get better, well, I guess that's a good indication that you might actually have fungus overgrowth. But anyway, there's a lot of this Danish site to read up on in regards of Candida, and I'll see if I can get some more data on it. At least it's like a original source. It's not coming from people just out. This is like a state site, the institute in Denmark for. The State Institute in Denmark for these things. That should be pretty. They have some in regards of vaccinations. And like they want to give you free vaccinations, right? But they won't. In regards of a fungus protocol. Oh no. But I guess in regards of nystatin and diflucan, in regards of killing different kinds of funguses, I do wonder if it actually could kill off some of the, like the antibiotic, where the antibiotic just kills the so-called bad guys and also the good guys. There might be some bad guys, I don't know, but usually. They also, some of these bad guys can also usually do some functions they actually need to do. So they actually, as long as there's police around, they will do their job. I think it was like 20% of the good guys in the guard and 30% of neutral that pick sides, and then we have 50% of the bad guys. So as long as you have the 20% good guys, well, the 50% bad guys do what they do, and the 30% of the neutral will actually go on to the good guys' teams. They will become the good guys, in some sense. They will work as the good guys or something like that. So, but if the bad guys take over, the neutrals will go over to the bad guys. So that's something in regards to that. So you're, and if you take an antibiotic and you kill off those good guys, or kill enough of those good guys so they can keep in check the bad guys, well, then you have a problem. But it's called mycology or something like that. So I guess that's just to go on researching and figuring things out and all that. But just, it would be interesting to get to an eye doctor to actually, but again, apparently there's so long, of actually, it's the same thing in the, you go on waiting, and, you're throwing one place to another place, to another place, another place, and no one of them apparently have anything that works. And then you're just put out as a nutcase, it's just easier to because it's not because we are incompetent, it's because you, the patient, are just stupid in your, you're just making up all these things or whatever, And when the patient comes and asks about a fungus protocol, no, he's just a nutcase. Get him out of the office, He's just, he needs to have some psychoactive drugs instead, It's just insane. This is utterly insane. These people are just out. They're just. It's just. It's just outrageous. Anyway, by the way, this is the side, the Danish side. I pushed something. Let's see. There we go. pushed the wrong thing. So this is the Danish side, and you can see it is the State Serum Institute. And they actually have something in regards of Candida, which I'm looking at. And there we have some meat. I'm looking into some meat as well. But again, if I can get the meat without any, antibiotic and all that, I need to call different It's just incredible how our food sources. If one just had a place where one could actually have some cows, some chickens, some sheep and some goats and all that. Well, you could slaughter things yourself. I know the Danish government don't allow that apparently nowadays and all that. But anyway, if you could actually just do it, for yourself and all that, and I'm sure the state will try to ruin, all these Satanists that is out there will just try ruining it further. They want to control everything, and well, when Jesus returns, that will change. But at the moment, the Antichrist is still in the works in this world. And is there something where when Jesus returns, the world will be sad and so forth. Why would they be sad of God coming back to the world? Well, because they don't really, Anyway, so comments to preparation thing. I would be nice to see if I could, there must be some good books. There must be some essential books on this subject that I could dig into. But I guess I don't know if it actually will make me closer to actually getting this or under control. I already used huge amount of my life on this. I have learned, things, that's for sure. And I talk about in regards of Candida, in regards of small children, all that. You have the white thing and all that, coding of white children and all that. Here we go in regards of Candida is what's that called? I read that yesterday as well. What's it called? Leaven fungus, I guess. Leaven fungus. I'm not sure that's the right word in English, but whereas 500 there's around 500 different species or variations, and only 10 of these are usually involved in infections in humans. And most normal is Candida albicans, and this is from an official site, so this is not secondhand. So I guess that's nice. But also Candida glabrata and Candida grussia and Candida tropicalis and Candida parapsilosis or something like that. With more in regards of infections, and I have problems in regards of the battery now. Maybe I should just stop and just go on listening to the fungus guy and read more on the subject. But it's getting, and the thing is, also I've heard this, you just need to go out and work and everything will be, it doesn't work. I have been out on the work field, and I have been, it doesn't become better. It's just become worse in regards of, the body, is better when you're out working and doing something in regards of the body, absolutely. But didn't fix my issues, that's for sure. And it would be nice to actually have your issues fixed. I thought we had a society that actually, if you're sick, we'll fix your issue and then, go out and, because the problem is also, you don't have that much time to actually research things. And when you are actually alone on this, if you just go out and work and come home and sleep, because it's just, how much time do we actually have to research it, you know? And if no one actually can help, you know, just, you know, you feel like you're on your own. If someone is going to help you, it's only going to be yourself. It's like that's what you feel like, you know. Going to these people and they just put you down in some sense. Yeah. Anyway, God bless. May Jehovah bless you, and may Yeshua be that most precious pearl, and don't let go of him if you find out who he is. And may the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth, be in us all. Amen. Have a good one, all of you. Bye-bye.